Alfred, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Antoine.
Alfred, when I opened your website, it was probably the most insane website I've ever seen. It was so impressive. I didn't know what was going on. So I knew that I was going to be talking to someone in tech, and then I had to break it down to understand everything that was going on. So before we get into the company and Shafra, um, as someone who's worked a decade, more than a decade in construction, how did you end up opening a tech company?
I mean, working in a traditional field, let's say, isn't satisfying enough, let's put it that way, or isn't challenging enough at some point of time. I mean, when you're doing the same thing over and over again, working from 9 to 5, doing the same thing, going through the same construction projects, there is nothing that, pushes the boundaries in what you do. I mean, you can, have certain breakthroughs in getting better supply chain management, improving your manufacturing, improving your stocking strategies. But it's nothing that really drives you, let's say, to 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 the next level. So, I mean, and plus COVID happened. I mean, COVID allowed us to, I guess, with a lot of people, COVID allowed us to really think big, I think. I'm not sure I think big happened with everybody, but I mean, to think out of bounds, let's say, I don't know, what could you have done differently? What could you do differently? And honestly, this is what drove me to try something new and to push myself.
Awesome. So let's talk about Shafra. Tell us, what is it? What are the services? What are the solutions?
Sure. Maybe to give a bit of a background as well, maybe to say a bit more about how we started, where what our vision was when we started
Mhm.
Shafra, and what changed from that time and where we are at today. So Shafra, at first the name, I mean, it's not, I mean, we didn't name it Shafra as, let's say, the Levant Arabic suggests, like as a blade. No, that's not our intentions, though we can say today that it kind of has a double meaning. So Shafra for us was cipher. So in the GCC colloquial, Shafra is like Shifra for us in the Levant area. So it's cipher, code, something cryptic, let's say, a cryptography. So as the name suggests, initially, our plan was to open a crypto trading platform that would support and help businesses to facilitate transactions basically between different businesses. So at the time, so it was the time where you had different crypto startups that came up after out of the region, like Conmina, Brain, Bitoasis. Bitoasis actually came quite some time before that. And we wanted to kind of differentiate ourselves. We wanted to see what can we do differently than those companies that are out there. So instead of using a website, we said, you know what, maybe we'll create kind of a digital space where organization can go on and trade, I mean, digital assets within a digital kind of a gaming environment. But then when we started looking into that, we said, you know what, why are we going to limit ourselves towards crypto trading? I mean, for us, then our core and our key should be creating digital workspaces for organizations to actually work within this new age, right? And that's when we really established Shafra. And Shafra initially was established pure and simply as a metaverse company, where we went about to create metaverses for corporates, governments, large enterprises, and whatnot. But then we started thinking, okay, what differentiates us as a metaverse company comparing to at the time there was Decentraland and the Sandbox and all those high, like top or very well heard of metaverses. And we started analyzing them and seeing where there's traffic within those metaverses. And if you notice where there is traffic in those metaverses is actually only in the gaming section. Because usually the poker sections, this is where you see everybody over there. I mean, Sandshift was quite a bit different uh, because uh, because it was more geared towards towards gaming as a whole, right? But Decentraland as an open world where you had all those different brands that were opening over there, I mean, didn't see any traffic. So we said, okay, we need to change that. To change that, we need movement within those digital worlds. We need a reason for the employees to actually come to those digital worlds and be willing to interact and to engage beyond having to simply come there to work. So that's when we started populating those metaverses that we created with avatars that were driven by AI, avatars that were able to take certain actions, avatars that were able to act as, your digital colleague in a way or another. And as we progressed, I mean, I'll go quickly through that chronology. I mean, just to jump quicker in a way to what we do today. But as we progressed, we saw much more interest from the market within those AI-driven avatars that we were creating within those metaverses. So we slowly but surely pivoted from being a purely metaverse company to being kind of an AI deep tech company where we supply to the business market, let's say, AI employees. I will get into what we mean exactly by AI employees because in our mind is a bit more than agentic AI or the buzz that we hear today. So our mission or our vision, let's say, is to answer two questions, two main questions. Number one, how can we make AI go beyond simply assisting us, but actually take action for businesses? I mean, today I'm talking, our focus is purely towards businesses. And secondly, how can we enable organizations to scale without necessarily scaling their human workforce? So by becoming, I mean, by optimizing their processes, becoming more efficient and whatnot. So we dissected every business that's out there. And for us, the picture or how we picture every business is in three verticals. Every business has a workflow vertical, as every business has a workforce vertical, and every business has a workspace vertical. I mean, you have your workforce that follows your workflows and that work within a certain workspace. So in a way, if you can see the link here, we kind of tackle all those three verticals. I mean, we still have the workspace and the metaverse kind of offering where we offer and we have certain projects. This tackles basically the workspace vertical. And through our AI employees that we offer, we're tackling both the workflows and the workforce kind of verticals.
Mm.
So our idea is, as I said, so we come in where we don't want employees to fear AI. We want actually businesses to become more efficient, to work in a better way, and ultimately to achieve better results. And to do that, you need to understand and have a clear distinctions of what are the capabilities of your resources. And your resources in that instance are either human resources or digital resources, AI resources. And where we see the potential is really combining those resources together. So it's not kind of HR or human resources against digital resources. So it's not human against machine. It's actually human with machine, if you want to put it this way. So we start looking and we start creating kind of a concept of human AI resources, where human and AI actually work together to perform better tasks, to achieve more results. Because, I mean, it's quite clear for everybody. I mean, we know where the human is strong. A human workforce is, or a human being, let's say in general, is strong at critical thinking, is strong at creative thinking, but is extremely weak in terms of data analytics. I mean, put in front of any human being a massive load of data, even utilizing whatever tools are out
Mm.
there, it will take a tremendous time to analyze that data.
But
That,
Alfred, I just want to ask you
yeah,
because there was an abundance of information here, and I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just trying to.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
Yeah, you should cut me because
no, no, I was just trying to absorb the whole picture because it sounds quite technical, because you first broke down what a real business looks like and tried to replace it, reimagine it with what you can offer. But
yep.
my question to you is, are businesses ready for such a transformation, or are they more looking for very practical, easy to measure solutions? Like when you tell me analytics reports, it's very clear, right? You don't know what's going on in your company. We come in and we do this. Workflow automation. You have all these people, they use different tools, we'll automate it. I get it. But when you put it all together, it sounds a bit overwhelming. How do you discuss this with businesses? Is it like a journey over long months? Is it like piece by piece? Is it all together? How does that work?
I mean, it's a great question. It all stems from, change is the worst enemy of every human being, right? I mean, whenever you need to change for whatever, change your routine, your daily routine, you hate it. Imagine you come to businesses and you tell them you need to actually change the way you've been doing things for the past, let's say, decade. They will tell you, sorry, but I mean, how are my staff? How is my staff going to accept that? Like, well, regardless, what is the potential benefits that you promise, it's never going to happen. And that's really where our approach comes in, right? So we come in, and that's in a way where we said, like where I told you really at the beginning, we are not providing an AI agentic workforce. We're really providing AI employees in a sense that we come in promising no disruptions of any business activities, no disruptions of any workflow that are currently out there. So we plug in our AI employees to work as a human employee would work, let's say. But I mean, to take it a level down, uh, definitely we have some in our sales cycle. There is some educational part of our cycle to help the people or the businesses understand what's in it for them as a business, number one. What's in it for them as an employee? Actually, this comes in usually first because usually the people, it might be a perfect solution for a business, but the employee handling such a project would often be worried about deploying such solution because then they would be worried for their job at
Am
the
I
same time.
training my replacement?
Exactly, exactly. So definitely our approach is on a step-by-step approach. We come in, we deploy certain AI employees, we include certain human touch points within this automation where the AI employee works. And we ultimately show them during this period that actually you as a human employee, you're today able to perform much more or much better than how you used to be able to perform before because you're able to, free up your time from things that usually would take you time that are mundane tasks, repetitive tasks that you don't like actually to do. So, to give you clear examples, examples, I'm sure, I won't go too much into examples because everybody know how automation is better, how everybody can perceive, let's say, how, deploying something that automatically undertakes a repetitive task will eventually do or allow a business to perform better. But for example, let's say the recruiter or the HR kind of cycle, because that's one of our aspects of, or one of our, if you want, verticals that we're tackling with our AI employees. And from recruitment, so how can an AI employee headhunt people that are relevant to a task? By browsing and going through the internet? How can a AI recruiter post jobs on behalf of an organization? But more importantly, how can an AI employee or AI recruiter shortlist candidates that are applying to your job? And you can imagine for organizations, we're talking here, the benefits really is seen for large organizations in the
Mm.
recruitment space. I'm talking about particularly. Large organizations that are recruiting people maybe hundreds of people or thousands of people on a monthly basis. They need a massive load of people to be able to go through all the CVs,
Hmm.
to interview all the potential candidates. A lot of potential candidates as well are skipped or missed because it's a human that's actually reviewing the CV. A lot of potential cross match, let's say. So I am applying for a certain job, but actually my skills are perfect for another job that's currently open or within that organization. As a recruiter, I'm not going to look at it because
I mean,
I'm reviewing thousands of
Alfred,
CVs.
it really sounds like what you're building is a lot more nuanced than just a straightforward automation. There's
And that's where the employee comes in, right?
okay, that's why you were saying employee, not just an agent or not just raw
Not
automation.
exactly, exactly.
Okay. But for the sake of time here, I'm going to take a step back. I mean, it's fascinating what you're saying. And the scalability of this is just, my brain is racing while you're talking to like, because you were taking an example of HR and recruiting, but it can literally happen anywhere in the
Oh yeah,
organization.
definitely.
So that's a fascinating topic. But I want to go back to you a bit more personal.
Sure.
After 3 years, what has been the most challenging part? Because you've spent a decade in the corporate world. What has been the most challenging part of being the co-founder of a tech company?
I mean, as a tech company or as a tech startup, let's say, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Um, if you're building technology, not if you're creating technology, not taking on a technology that's already out there, uh, you need the proper team to hire. You need a team that is able to deploy or build certain technology. That means you need capital to hire that team. Because honestly, you always want to maintain this IP within your organization. Uh, as a corporate world, you're running, you know how much you're selling, you know your gross profit, your gross margins, your net profit. You can understand very clearly, okay, what's happening, what's your next steps, what's your bottom line, and how can you move forward. But as a tech company, you're actually always in the negative at the very beginning because you're building technology, and at the beginning while you're building this technology you don't have any revenue. You don't have any clients, so it's until the time you go to market, even though you would have done all your market survey and market analysis and market fit and product fit to understand if your product is actually people would want this product, until you go to market and you start selling this product, you'll never know. uh, and by the time your technology is fully ready, you would have needed to go through to sell to certain clients and be willing not to go to market with the perfect product. And it's always extremely stressful to do that because I mean, whenever you get criticism of your product is not perfect, your product has many flaws, there's many bugs. But actually, as a tech co-founder or as a tech founder, you need to be willing to go through that journey because that's the only way. I mean, your product is going to be better, your processes are going to be better, and your product delivery is going to be better. So, accepting criticism, accepting not not always seeking for perfectionism. Let's say, let's put it this way, and that's very important. If you're gonna expect everything to be perfect, you're never gonna go to market, and you're never gonna fail. And I mean, it's a cliche to hear that often, right? Fail fast. The faster you fail, the better your future product is going to be. I know we hear that a lot, and it's kind of a cliche for all tech startups. But honestly, it's a really valid point, and
Easier
people
said than
often
done.
it's much easier said than done, right? Because it takes a lot of guts to fail fast. It takes a lot of guts to accept as well failure, and it takes a lot of guts as well to pick yourself back up after a failure and to go at it again.
So, Alfred, I want to end with this. Do you think the market is ready? As a someone with a tech background, I find what you're doing fascinating. I think it's amazing, it's great. But we both know that bigger companies take time to change, and they'll usually not use experimental technology. Not saying that it is. I'm just saying it's brand new. I mean, let's just be honest
Yeah.
here, especially agentic AI, even though yours is even a step further. It's in the news right now, so it's really new. So do you think these big companies are willing to start investing in this type of technology today, or do you feel like the market needs to mature another year or two?
Um, I think that we started in the right region, at the right place, at the right time. Um, I mean, it's not often that you would hear a startup that will go to market with their first set of clients being government entities or being large corporate or semi-governmental entities. The region, the GCC as a whole, I mean, is transforming at a pace that I don't think the rest of the world understands or comprehends. And the good thing is, I mean, here everything is driven from the top down, right? There is a government mandate, or there are government mandates that directs government entities that they need to deploy some kind of AI solutions within their government entities. Do they know what AI solution they want to deploy? No, they often don't know. So it's often the case that, okay, if there's an AI mandate, I need to deploy something AI. And often case, what you see being deployed out there is subpar to what AI can perform. And often case, those projects are really vain projects in a way that they'd offer no real use case or no real benefits to those organizations. And that's really where we come in, where we, and as I mentioned to you, our go-to market, a big part of it is educating the customer. We usually, when we sell, we don't go and sell, these are the AI employees that we can offer you. We usually go to those organizations and tell them, okay, what are the bottlenecks that you have? What are the challenges that you currently face in your workflows? And this is how we can come and support. Or thank you, we can't support. We'll come back to you at a later point when you have different challenges. Or maybe sometimes technologically as well, they are not ready to adopt such a forward-thinking technology.
So it sounds like traditional sales, but with innovative solutions.
Exactly. But there's a mandate in the region to adopt new technology.
Listen, Alfred, that was fascinating. I could go on and on, but I promised everyone we have a 30-minute discussion. So
Cool.
I don't want to go beyond that. Alfred, this was really fascinating. I really enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see where you'll be in a year, 2, 3 years from today.
Thank you. Thank you, Antoine, for this conversation.